All right, so here's some bell curves, and I want to teach my calculator to answer this question. What's that blue area right there? Okay, it's a bell curve, and I know there's a button in my calculator somewhere for that. And so I'm going to need to say, well, first of all, it's colored in all the way down to negative infinity. So when I get to asking the calculator, oh, I need to know all the way from negative infinity up to 1.5. Okay, from negative infinity to 1.5. Now, first problem here is the calculator is not going to understand negative infinity. That's like an abstract concept. Calculators don't understand negative infinity. So I'm going to need to replace that with something else. Negative 1e99. Okay, that e is scientific notation. So this is a negative number. It's a 1 with 99 zeros after it. It's not negative infinity, but it's so close you're not going to be able to tell. The rest just going to be rounding error anyway. Okay, so this is how I'm going to say from negative infinity to 1.5. All right, at least I got that part figured out. Okay, so now I need to get the button on my calculator that does this. And you've kind of seen it. We buzzed past it when we were doing binom PDF. So there's that vars button, which had distribution above it. Okay, so it's a second function because it's distribution. Normalcdf. All right. So I'm doing second distribution, and then I see normal PDF and normal CDF. Okay, it was binom PDF for probability distribution function, but this we're using CDF for continuous distribution function. So you end up getting them mixed up, but you need binom PDF, normal CDF, and we're never going to switch it around the other way. Okay, so I have gone down to normal CDF and I hit enter. Now what happens next depends on your calculator. Some calculators just they go to normal people screen and they've got normal CDF and a parenthesis, and they're waiting to find out what happens next. Okay, some people's calculators say something about a lower and an upper and a mean and a standard deviation. Okay, so what you do depends on which calculator you have. For me, mine just does this, so I'm going to have to do that. But lower and upper, okay, this is lower down here, negative infinity. And this is upper up here, 1.5. So in lower, I'm going to put that. And in upper, I'm going to put that. That's where the lower and upper start down here, end up over there. Okay, now I got to put this, negative 1e99, in my calculator. I'll need the negative button. You can't use the minus button. You have to use the negative button. Negative is a button way down here. It's next to the decimal point. You got to use that. You can't come over here and use minus. It won't understand you. Okay, so I put in the negative, and then I put in the 1, and then E. Now, it looks like there's this whole alphabet on here. Maybe I could use that, but there's a special EE button. So there's a green E on my calculator, which is like, where is it? It's right up here, part of the sign in with the trigs. There's an E button, but that's not what I want. What I want is right there with the comma, as the second function is EE. Okay, so it's only going to write one E, but you're hitting the button that says EE. And then I do 99. Okay, so I hit the negative button, negative, and then the 1, and then I do second function EE, 99. Now, since my calculator does it this old-fashioned way right here, okay, I have to just type that. This is the lower bound. I just type it right there. If you've got the more recent calculators, it'll fill this in for you after you answer those questions. Okay, second question. is upper, or in my case, I just put the answer to the second question right here. I got to put in a comma before I do that. So use the comma button, which is, again, that same button, only don't do the second function. Okay, my upper is 1.5. Put that in. Okay, so you've done -1E99, 1.5. Then the calculator asks you for mean and standard deviation. All right, well, I didn't tell you, but this bell curve right here has a mean of 0, since that's the very center of the bell. And the standard deviations are that 1.5 is a z-score. It's done in standard deviations. So everything in section 6.2 is mean 0, standard deviation 1. Okay, if yours doesn't do the newfangled way and goes with the old-fashioned way, 0 and 1 are actually default values, so you don't even have to worry about them. But if it's asking you questions, you do need to answer the questions. Okay, and once you get done with this and hit enter, it'll look like you've been entering them in by hand. It'll put in comma 0, comma 1 right there. Okay, either way, I now hit enter, and I get 0.933, I'll round up, 0.9332. All right, so that's the area of the blue right there. It's the area, it's the probability, 93.32 is the percent.